How many times have you stared at your phone, waiting for her reply, and felt your stomach drop when nothing came? How many nights have you replayed every message in your head, asking yourself what you did wrong? How many times have you watched a woman who once showed interest suddenly go cold, while you're left chasing, overthinking, and feeling like you're the only one who cares? Be honest. You've been there. Every guy has. That sinking feeling when you know she's slipping away, but you don't know how to stop it. And here's the painful truth. It's not because you weren't nice enough. It's not because you didn't text fast enough. It's because you gave her too much, too soon. You killed the mystery. You made yourself predictable. And the second she knew she could have you anytime, she stopped wanting you at all. This is the trap almost every man falls into. You believe women want endless attention, constant validation, and immediate responses. But the reality is darker. Desire doesn't grow in certainty. It grows in uncertainty. Attraction doesn't explode when she has you on demand. It explodes when she doesn't know if she can. That's why the guys who pull back, who stop chasing, who make her question where she stands, they're the ones who haunt her thoughts at night. And in this video, you're going to see why. She checks her phone for the 5th time in 10 minutes. Nothing. No reply. No answer. Just silence. The same man who could have had her last week when she was unsure of him is now the only man she can't stop thinking about. Not because he's more handsome, not because he's richer, but because he did something almost no man has the strength to do. He pulled back. He became scarce. He stopped chasing. And now she's losing sleep over him. You've been told women crave endless attention, that they want constant validation, that if you don't text back right away, you'll lose her. But the exact opposite is true. When you give her everything she thinks she wants, desire dies. Attraction suffocates. And the guy she once imagined as a prize becomes background noise she can mute at will. Here's the reality. Nobody admits. Women don't get hooked on certainty. They get hooked on mystery. They get addicted to the not knowing. The gap between wanting and having. The unanswered question of, does he want me as much as I want him? That's where her imagination takes over. That's where attraction is born. Most men kill it without even realizing it. They chase too fast. They text too much. They make themselves too easy. And with every desperate move, they're not winning her over. They're writing their own rejection letter. The truth is, women are hunters too. They just hunt differently than men. While men chase directly, women chase through tests. She'll pull back to see if you lean in. She'll cancel plans to see if you beg. She'll throw obstacles in your way to see if you crumble. And here's the ugly reality. Most men fail spectacularly. They leap over every wall she builds. They throw themselves forward with desperation. They beg like one date is the difference between life and death. And in doing so, they prove exactly what she suspected, that they're too easy to break. But the men who pass her tests, they're the ones who don't flinch when she withdraws. They don't scramble to explain themselves when she gets cold. They don't crumble when she creates chaos. Those men become puzzles she can't solve, mountains she can't conquer, and challenges she can't ignore. That's when she becomes obsessed. Not because he's the nicest, not because he bought flowers, but because his value is undeniable. He refuses to bend, and that refusal forces her to lean in harder. Attraction doesn't grow when you're always available. It grows when she feels she might lose you. It grows when she has to earn your attention instead of being handed it for free. And the men who understand this become unforgettable. the ones she can't stop thinking about long after the date ends. Neediness is the silent killer of attraction. The man who craves constant reassurance, who needs to know where he stands every second, who rushes to define the relationship after a few dates. He announces one thing loud and clear: he's not the prize. He's the contestant begging to be chosen. And nothing kills desire faster than that. Think about how neediness shows up. You double text when she doesn't reply fast enough. You stalk her Instagram, searching for hidden meanings in every post. You ask your buddies what they think she meant when she sent that short reply. You build wild theories in your head about why she's pulling away. You treat every little interaction like it's do or die. That's not attraction. That's desperation wearing a mask. And here's the paradox. The more you chase clarity, the less she wants you. The more you push for certainty, the more she pulls away. Because real attraction thrives in ambiguity. Desire grows in the unknown. It's the late-night questions that keep her awake. Is he thinking about me? Or is he too busy living his life? That's what drives her wild. Most men sabotage themselves because they can't handle the tension of not knowing. They rush to lock her down, not because she's proven her worth, but because they're terrified another guy will take her. That fear bleeds through every word, every text, every move, and it's the exact reason she starts to lose interest. Predictability is the death of attraction. The moment she knows exactly when you'll text, exactly what you'll say, exactly how you'll react, you stop being a mystery and start being furniture. Comfortable, safe, reliable, but boring. Furniture gets used, not desired. It gets replaced without a second thought. And that's exactly how most men lose. Mystery isn't about lying. It isn't about playing games. It's about protecting parts of yourself and letting her earn access to them. She doesn't need to know you've been staring at your phone all day. She doesn't need to know you canceled other plans just in case she called. She doesn't need to know you're sitting by waiting for her message. Because the moment she realizes she has you completely, she stops wanting you desperately. This is why delayed responses create so much power. When you don't reply instantly, her mind goes into overdrive. What's he doing? Who's he with? Why isn't he chasing me like the others? That space between her text and your reply, that's where attraction multiplies. Not because you're playing tricks, but because you're living a life that doesn't revolve around her. Being slightly unpredictable keeps her hooked. Sometimes you're warm, sometimes you're distant. Sometimes you initiate, sometimes you let her chase. Not in a manipulative way, but in a natural way. Because real men with full lives aren't vending machines of attention. They're storms of energy she's trying to figure out. And the harder you are to read, the harder you are to leave. If this hit you and you're starting to realize why women lose interest so fast, don't just scroll past. Hit subscribe now. I drop raw truths about attraction most men never hear. Stay here, because missing this could cost you more than just one girl. Scarcity makes men desperate. When she's the only option in your life, every little thing she does feels massive. A short text becomes a lifeline. A canceled date feels like the end of the world. Every rejection cuts like a knife because you've placed all your emotional weight on one woman. And that pressure doesn't make her want you, it makes her run. But when you have options, everything changes. Suddenly, you're not clinging. You're not waiting by the phone. You're not obsessing over every word she sends. You're relaxed because your happiness doesn't depend on her. That's what abundance does. It creates real confidence, not fake bravado, not pretending to be busy, but genuine ease, because your attention is spread across a full life. This is why women are drawn to men other women want. It's not about being a player. It's about proving value through reality. When she senses that you're not desperate, that other women desire your time, that you won't crumble if she pulls away, her attraction spikes. It's social proof, wired deep in her psychology. The man who's wanted by many must be worth wanting. And here's the kicker. Women know the difference between a man pretending he has options and a man who actually has them. The first reeks of insecurity. The second radiates confidence without saying a word. And that's why the man with abundance doesn't panic, because he doesn't need to. Your phone is either your greatest weapon or your biggest enemy. Most men use it like a hammer, smashing attraction to pieces with endless texts, long calls, and overexposure. They think talking more equals connection. But in reality, every unnecessary word drains the mystery, kills anticipation, and removes the reason to actually meet in person. The phone should be a tool, not a crutch. Use it to set dates, not to have them. Stop pouring your life story into her inbox. Stop filling every silence with nervous chatter. Because once she feels like she already knows everything about you, there's nothing left to discover. And people don't chase what's already been handed to them. They chase what's hidden. They chase what's rare. Here's a truth that stings. Silence is often more powerful than words. When she cancels on you, don't scramble to reschedule. Don't blow up her phone with check-ins. Don't beg for an explanation. Let your silence speak. It tells her you've got things going on. It tells her your happiness doesn't depend on her availability. It tells her you're a man who won't crumble at the first sign of resistance. And that silence will echo louder in her head than any text you could send. Confidence isn't shown by saying more. It's shown by knowing when to say nothing at all. Overcommunication is poison. The man who texts non-stop, who calls just to check in, who floods her with words. He isn't proving his value. He's exposing his fear. Fear that she'll forget him. Fear that without constant reminders, she'll move on. Fear that silence means he's losing her. But here's the truth. Silence doesn't kill attraction. Neediness does. The man who communicates with purpose is the one who stays on her mind. When he speaks less, every word carries more weight. When he doesn't respond right away, she wonders why. When he doesn't flood her with attention, she starts craving it. Value isn't built by giving her everything. Value is built by giving her just enough to keep her guessing. Women don't want to be chased. They want to be chosen. There's a world of difference. Chasing screams desperation. It says you're running after something slipping away. Choosing radiates power. It says you've got options, you've weighed them, and you've decided. One makes her feel pressured. The other makes her feel like a prize. The stories women dream about aren't about the guy who begged from day one. They're about the man who had options, who could have anyone, but still chose her. That's the narrative that makes her obsessed. And the moment you kill uncertainty with overcommunication, you kill that story before it even begins. When you're always there, always available, always ready at a moment's notice, you don't feel like a prize anymore. You feel like background noise, safe, predictable, forgettable, and nothing kills desire faster than becoming her fallback option instead of her challenge. Being busy isn't a trick. It's not about faking. It's about actually having a life that matters. When she asks to see you and you're genuinely unavailable, something flips in her mind. Suddenly she realizes she's not the center of your universe. She realizes that if she wants time with you, she has to plan for it. She has to earn it. That scarcity makes your presence valuable. Think about it. A store that's open 24/7 is convenient, but nobody treasures it. You go when you need it, but you don't crave it. But a store that's only open a few hours, with lines out the door, that's the place people respect, remember, and talk about. The same is true with your time. The man who treats his schedule like a fortress, who lets people in selectively, who guards his priorities, that man automatically becomes more valuable. Boundaries aren't walls that push people away. They're filters that show who deserves access. And every time she invests effort to earn a piece of your world, her attachment to you deepens. Easy access cheapens you. Scarcity makes you priceless. If you're starting to see how boundaries create value and why scarcity makes you irresistible, don't stop here. Subscribe now. Every video digs deeper into the truths most men never figure out. Miss it, and you'll stay the guy she forgets instead of the man she can't ignore. The real test isn't when things are easy, it's when she creates chaos. Women test emotional stability through emotional storms. She'll pull away to see if you chase. She'll start drama to see if you join the circus. She'll push your buttons to see if you lose control. And most men fail. They mirror her moods. They panic when she withdraws. They collapse when she creates friction. And in that moment, they prove they're not leaders. They're liabilities. The men who stand out are different. When she pulls back, they don't chase. When she throws a tantrum, they don't react. When she tests boundaries, they don't fold. They remain calm, centered, and grounded, no matter how loud her storm gets. And that calmness does something powerful. It signals strength. It shows stability. It makes her feel that no matter how wild she gets, he won't be shaken. Confidence isn't loud. It's not yelling. It's not flexing. It's not forcing control. Real confidence is quiet certainty. It's the ability to sit in discomfort without scrambling to fix it. It's staying calm when she's upset. It's handling rejection without collapsing. That kind of presence is magnetic. That kind of strength is addictive. Because the man who keeps his frame when she loses hers becomes her anchor. And anchors are irreplaceable. Here's the paradox that shatters most men's minds. The less you care, the more she does. Not fake indifference. Not pretending you're busy while secretly obsessing. Real indifference. Because your life is full. Because one woman's approval doesn't define your worth. That's what creates pull. That's what makes her chase. Most men crumble because they can't handle uncertainty. They demand clarity. They push for labels. They need reassurance like oxygen. But that's exactly what kills attraction. The moment she feels you need her, she stops needing you. The moment you try to lock her down before she's earned it, she senses weakness. And weakness is repulsive. Want is attractive. Choice is attractive. Desire is attractive. But need? Need is toxic. Need screams that you're incomplete, that you're trying to use her to fill a void in yourself. And deep down, she feels it. That's why women become obsessed with men who don't need them. Because his value is obvious, he's already complete. He enjoys her. He desires her. But his world doesn't collapse without her. This is why the man who doesn't chase every time, who doesn't beg for certainty, who doesn't fold under pressure, he's the one who stands out. He's not playing hard to get. He simply is hard to get. And that difference is everything. Women don't crave suffering. They crave the man who challenges them, because challenge signals value. Difficulty implies worth. The easy path rarely leads anywhere exciting. That's why the man who sets standards, who has options, who refuses to sacrifice his dignity just for approval, he becomes magnetic. He represents strength, not weakness. Society has lied to men. You've been programmed to believe that showing interest makes you weak, that caring means collapsing, that love means losing yourself. But that's wrong. Real strength isn't about pretending you don't care. Real strength is being able to care without needing, to want without depending, to love without losing yourself. The men women obsess over aren't distant game players. They're complete. They're full. Their lives already matter more than any single woman. They have missions bigger than validation. They have goals more important than approval. They have standards higher than simple attention. They're not pretending to be hard to get. They truly are hard to get. Because entering their world requires effort, requires investment, requires proving you deserve a place there. That's why their presence feels valuable. That's why their absence is felt. That's why women can't stop thinking about them. Because they're not trying to act like a prize. They are the prize. The addiction isn't to the game. It isn't to the chase itself. It's to what the chase represents. A man who can't be conquered easily is a man who won't leave easily. A man who has standards has value. A man who enforces boundaries commands respect. And a man who doesn't need her will never drain her. The challenge is just the surface. The real hook is the value underneath. And value can't be faked. It must be built. Stop trying to look busy. Actually build a life that keeps you busy. Stop pretending you have options. Create real ones. Stop performing confidence. Develop genuine confidence from within. Women can feel the difference instantly, and they only become addicted to the real thing. If these words sting, it's because deep down you already know the truth. If you recognize yourself in these mistakes, good. That means you have the chance to change. Share this with the men who need to wake up. Like this, if it hit you harder than you expected. Subscribe if you're ready for more unfiltered truth about attraction, relationships, and the psychology no one else will tell you. Because here's the bottom line. The game is real. The patterns are consistent. And once you understand them, you'll never look at dating the same way again. The choice is yours. Stay the desperate man she forgets, or become the rare man she can't stop chasing.